Hey gang, Jamie here, New England Haunter. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be building a toe pincher type of a coffin for my rising corpse that I did for you guys here just recently. I am building it out of 1/2 inch foam. I know that's been done before. Mine, I'm going to make it so I can break it down for storage and use it, you know, in years to come. So stick around. I'm calling this my DIY collapsible toe pincher coffin. Let's do this.
Step right up, come on in. Join the show, it's about to begin.
I'll be making this out of a 1/2 inch foam board sheet that I picked up at my local hardware store. It's a full 4x8 foot panel, and here are all the measurements for the layout that I'll be using. For this build, the coffin will sit flat on the ground with a depth of 15 inches. If you follow my channel, you know that I like to show you guys the simplest way to get things done. Today, I'm using a basic handsaw for all these cuts. No need for a jigsaw or specialty blades or foam cutting tools. Just take your time, keep your cuts straight, and be careful not to snap the corners as you reach the end of each cut. Next, I'm using a sanding block with a coarse grit sandpaper to clean up those edges and knock off any loose foam. Now, using that same sanding block, I'll start adding imperfections along sections of the edges, along with scuffs and marks across the surface that will become the exterior face. If you need inspiration, try looking up images of weathered wood online as reference. Start small and keep the marks irregular. There's a lot of surface to cover here, so try and be as sporadic as possible and not too busy. At this stage, it's simply a matter of repeating the same process. When I'm working with multiple pieces in a build like this, I prefer to finish every section within each step before moving on, if that makes sense. Next, I'm switching to a wire brush. This is a go-to for most haunters when creating a wood look to foam. It adds wood grain and extra imperfections that really sell the aged wood look. I do want to mention, when you're adding this effect, make sure you know the direction your wood grain will run across the entire build based on your measurements. This technique does take some practice, so you may want to start on a piece of scrap foam or maybe the back side of one of the foam panels until you're comfortable. I usually begin with light pressure and gradually work up to a heavier pass. For this next step, I'm using an old soldering iron to create the separation lines between the faux wood boards. You could also use a wood burner as well. I'll be using the straight edge as my guide. I happen to have a metal ruler nearby. You could use a piece of wood or even freehand if you're confident. Here's how it's looking so far. You can already see the wood grain texture and the defined board separations starting to come through. This gives us a solid foundation for the upcoming painting stage. I'm using an exterior latex paint and primer mix since this coffin will be part of my outdoor haunt. If yours will be indoors, regular latex paint works just fine. I do recommend a flat finish. It helps the final look stay realistic and prevents any unwanted shine. As you brush on that paint, make sure to follow the direction of the wood grain. Those brush marks help reinforce the imperfections and really sell the grain effect. If you're giving this a try, your piece should look something like this by now. You can see how it's starting to resemble real wood, and those imperfections we added are beginning to show through. These will really pop once we start the weathering paint process. It's the next day, and we're back in the study at my workbench. All the pieces are dry with the base coat, and now we're ready to start the weathering process. Here's an old piece of wood from a past project that I saved. I'm using this as inspiration. You see this kind of aged wood color all over New England. It has that distinct grayish hue that comes from years of weathering. Since my prop will only be outdoors on Halloween night, I'll be using acrylic paints for the weathering. If this was going to be outdoors for a longer period of time, I would be using exterior latex paint for this step. And just like before, make sure your brush strokes follow the direction of the wood grain you're trying to create, using only a very small amount of paint on the brush. The final step in my process is applying a black acrylic wash and dabbing it into all the cracks and imperfections we created to add depth and realism. Keep a towel handy and blot it off right after applying so it doesn't stain areas you don't want darkened. And here's the final version with all the pieces completed. I also made a broken lid off camera out of the 28-inch piece of foam that we cut earlier in the video. Next, I'll show you how I'm putting all of this together. For easy setup and breakdown, I'm going to be using this outdoor rated Velcro from Scotch. It'll let me take the coffin apart at the end of the season, store everything flat, and keep the pieces straight for next year's haunt. I'm applying about a 2-inch piece of Velcro in each corner of every piece. Then I'll be using a longer strip, around 5 to 6 inches, to connect them all. Now that all the Velcro is in place, it's time to start putting the pieces together. I'm attaching the 18.5-inch long panel to the 48-inch long panel first. Next, I'm adding one of the 14-inch panels for the top, then the other 18.5-inch panel on the opposite side, followed by the second 48-inch piece. Finally, I'm attaching the last 14-inch piece panel on the bottom, then the lid. So here it is, the final product. Since this piece will only be viewed from one side, I painted just the exposed interior panels. And on Halloween night, I'll probably end up hanging creepy cloth on those inside corners to cover the Velcro. Now this will be used for my animated rising corpse prop that I built for you guys in my last video. And here's my favorite part, guys. Once everything's broken down, it's incredibly easy to store. Now guys, as I mentioned in the intro, this has been done probably a million times. I'm not trying to take credit by any means for this. For me, it's very important to be able to break things down for storage. If you follow me, watch my channel all these years, you know that I'm constantly building things. Some things I repurpose, so I'm saving a little bit of space that way, but I have to come up with ways to be able to make builds that come apart. And you don't have to use Velcro. You could use small screws, zip ties, cable ties. You could even use like gaff tape on the inside of those corners. I'm sure that would peel right off the inside of that foam. As always, take my ideas and make them your own. That's it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around. I really, really appreciate you. If you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe. It's completely free. I say that all the time in the description. I have a lot of really cool things planned between now and Halloween. In just a couple of weeks, I'm going to be starting my yard haunt updates. There's a lot of new things that I plan on doing this year, and I'd love for you guys to come along with me on that. Hope you guys had a great summer, and we will see you guys in the next video. Take care.